If you're running voice AI calls for your business and a lot of your pickup rate is tanking, more than likely your phone number is showing up as spam likely for your users that you are attempting to reach to. Now, I'm going to show you guys today a strategy that I utilize to increase my pickup rate by around 32%. Stick around with me and I'm going to show you guys every single step of the way, and then of course the strategies that I took in order to make this happen. And before we dive deep into the strategy, we need to make sure that we understand the actual problem. What is making these phone numbers show up as spam likely, right? So there's a couple of things that can happen. Carriers flagging high volume outbound numbers, aggressive call patterns, or too many calls from the same number in a short amount of time. These are the usual three that bring in this specific spam likely problem. Now, it is critical to pay attention to the caller ID reputation of your phone numbers if you want to have a very successful voice AI agent. Because if you're making outbound calls and all these outbound calls just show up as spam likely, you are not bound to get that many results. So pretty much pickup rates have dropped by 50 to 70%. That's how much they will drop if you guys have your phone numbers showing up as spam likely. Now, obviously, with this happening, you're not going to be happy. The company you're working with is not going to be happy. Whoever is making these calls out isn't going to be happy. And I'm sure the users that you're also calling out to are not going to be happy to see a spam call go into their phone. So here is how we are going to solve this for you. And there's many different methods that you guys can use. These are just the ones that I utilize for my own agency, as well as Synthflow, to be able to make this work way better for the people who are sending out calls. So the first thing that I did to realize this is the phone number rotation. So there are many different solutions that you can use in order to be able to rotate phone numbers. However, there's a couple solutions that will definitely be better than others. So just to name out a software out there, it's going to be Caller ID Reputation. So Caller ID Reputation pretty much searches carriers around the globe and figures out if your phone number is being marked as spam or not. Why does this help you out a lot? Well, this basically helps you a lot just because whenever a phone number gets marked as spam, you can identify that with an automation, and then it'll send you a notification from Caller ID Reputation, and essentially you can just rotate that phone number with another phone. Now keep in mind, I'm teaching you guys how to do this not so you can make spam calls. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you're not trying to make spam calls. This is so if you're running, let's say, advertisements where somebody has consented to even receiving these calls, of course, you're going to want to call them if they fill out a form to be called. They don't want to be called with a spam likely phone. So that is the first thing that you are going to be able to do. Let me recap for you guys. You're going to be able to get the software called Caller ID Reputation, which is showing you guys how to pretty much view if a phone number is getting marked as spam, and then you're going to attach that to an automation, which is going to rotate a phone number for you. Now that we discussed the first option, here's the second option, which is a little bit easier and less time consuming. The second option would be to get a numerous amount of phone numbers, whether it be 50, 100, however many you really want, and essentially rotating from those phone numbers, depending on how many outbound assistants you have, of course. But just typically understand that phone numbers, as I mentioned in the beginning, phone numbers get marked as spam depending on how many calls and the call volume going out from a single phone number. If you just rotate those phone numbers after, let's say, 500 calls, then essentially your phone number is less likely to be marked as spam. So that is going to be the next solution that you guys can definitely do with just a simple automation. If you guys want me to go over a simple automation, definitely let me know below. I will definitely bring up some of the guidelines that I have in my own, but it is a very simple automation that I don't think needs a lot of discovery. So with that being said, right, how will this benefit you, right? There's going to be lower spam risk, there's going to be higher pickup rates, and then of course there's going to be a better campaign longevity. So take that with a grain of salt. Of course, you're gonna have to test it out yourself, and I'm just informing you guys the best ways that I have accomplished to be able to solve this spam likely issue. So something that is just taking as best practices for people that are using Twilio is being able to submit some of the 4 forms that they ask you to do whenever making some voice AI calls. So what are these 4 forms? These 4 forms are the shake and stir, the voice integrity, the branded calling, and the CNAM. So essentially, the shake and stir, which is the first one that we're going to be talking about very briefly, pretty much verifies caller identity and ensures caller ID authenticity using encrypted digital signature. Okay, so that is what the shake and stir will do, and it only works in the US. The same thing goes with the voice integrity. So essentially, the voice integrity, which is the second one, lets you remediate spam labels on your phone, and essentially these phone numbers will be registered with analytic engines for select US carriers. So pretty much you're telling Twilio, hey, these are the phone numbers that I'm going to be making calls from, and please don't mark them as spam because this is what they're doing. And then you essentially explain what the voice AI calls are for, which gives them a little more leniency, like being a little more lenient, right, towards the calls that you're giving, which essentially it is sadly one of the main things a lot of people are doing voice AI spam calls. So they need to make sure that they differentiate a good call for voice AI and a bad call for voice AI, considered a robocall. Now, when it comes to the CNAM, it's very similar to the branded calling section forms. The CNAM essentially gives the phone number a caller ID, right? So this caller ID can be the business name of a company or something specific if you would like to be something specific, right? But essentially that is the form that you would be submitting, and it only works for the US as well. All right, so it allows you to just brand your phone calls. However, do keep in mind, if a phone number gets marked as spam, it's going to remove that CNAM and prioritize the spam likely over that. All right, then lastly, you have the branded calling form, which is essentially just branding out your outbound calls with your business name, call reason, and logo. You're able to do this pretty simply by just going to the branded calls section inside of Twilio and submitting that form as well. So now that you guys understand how you're going to be able to not have the spam calling issue anymore, I really do hope that you guys got a lot of value off. I will ask, of course, if you guys want to, definitely drop a like down below for the video itself, comment any questions that you guys may have, and most definitely join the community called the AI Agency Vault, where I teach you guys every single step of the way with voice AI. If you guys think these videos are valuable, I have courses and courses and courses in there, all free, all for you guys to be able to understand how to use voice AI and how to leverage it in such a good era to be in. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.